I settled into the chair beside them, crossing my legs, my fingers brushing the rim of my glass. They talked quietly, unsure at first, then slipping into an easy rhythm. She sighed, his words guiding her gently, his tone steady and calm. I exhaled, a warm, familiar feeling spreading through me as I listened. I had planned to stay on the sidelines, but the longer I sat there, the harder it was to pretend I wasn't involved emotionally. Before we begin, please tap like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and if you already have, thank you for being here. Now, let's get started. I swear I don't even remember what it feels like to really connect with a man, she sighed, settling deeper into the couch. I laughed softly, swirling my tea. That's honestly kind of sad, she groaned. It is. It's been months, maybe even a year. I shook my head. No way. I don't think I could go a week without talking things through with my husband. Emotional check-ins keep us grounded. She rolled her eyes. Yeah, we get it. You won the husband lottery. I smirked. I did, though. The man knows exactly how to make a woman feel understood. She let out a long breath. Must be nice. I tilted my head, studying her. She looked drained, not just tired, but empty in that quiet emotional way that comes after too many hard days. Maybe she missed companionship, but I had a feeling it was about something deeper, something about feeling unseen. Maybe that's the problem, I murmured. She frowned. What problem? I leaned in slightly. You think you're feeling this way only because of your divorce, but maybe you just need someone who knows how to really listen to you again. Her head snapped up, eyes wide. Excuse me, I just smiled, taking another sip. I mean, you wouldn't have to go searching for that kind of support. She blinked. What does that mean? I let the silence stretch before finally speaking. What if I shared some of the support I get from him? Her breath hitched. You're kidding. I kept smiling. Later that day, the three of us were lying on the bed, fully clothed, talking in the soft glow of the afternoon. The air felt warm and peaceful. I stretched, running lazy fingers over his sleeve, still wrapped in the sense of comfort he always gave me. That was amazing, I murmured, meaning the conversation, the openness, the honesty. He smirked, eyes half-lidded with calm. We let the quiet settle. Then casually I said, she needs this. His brow furrowed. Who, my friend? I said, propping myself up on one elbow. She's miserable, lonely. I think she just needs to feel supported again. He frowned slightly, still not following. I trailed my fingers over the back of his hand, feeling him breathe deeper. And maybe you could help. His body tense, not out of discomfort, but surprise. Wait, you're serious? I nodded. She needs emotional grounding, and you're good at offering that. You always have been. He exhaled, rubbing a hand over his face. I don't know, I leaned in, brushing my lips softly against his cheek. You trust me, don't you? I whispered. His fingers tightened slightly around mine. I could tell I already had him. The next morning, I poured coffee as my husband walked into the kitchen, still groggy. We should invite her over, I said, handing him a mug. He frowned, meeting my gaze. To talk. He hesitated. And by talk, you mean? I smirked. You'll see. He exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck, but he didn't say no. That was enough. I sent the text. She answered almost immediately. Sure, I could use the company. When she arrived, she looked tired, like she hadn't shaken off the weight she'd been carrying, but her eyes were clearer, curious. We sat down, coffee in hand. I let the moment settle before tilting my head. Been thinking about what we talked about. She gave me a sidelong glance. Maybe, I smiled. She sighed. I mean, I get what you were saying, but it's not exactly easy to just... She gestured it. I leaned in slightly. What if it was? Her brows furrowed. What do you mean? I reached for my husband's wrist, running my fingers over his skin. Her eyes flickered between us. We want to help, I murmured. Silence, she blinked. You're serious? I nodded. She swallowed, her gaze shifting between me and him, searching for something steady. You trust me, don't you? A long pause. Then finally, she set her coffee down. What exactly are you suggesting? I smiled. Let me show you. I led them into the bedroom, not for anything physical, but because it was quiet there, calmer, a space where conversations always felt deeper. My breath was steady, my pulse a slow thrum, but inside I felt warm with purpose. She followed hesitantly, her movements careful, uncertain. My husband, meanwhile, walked in with quiet tension, still processing what this meant. I knew exactly what I was doing. I turned to him first, placing my hand gently on his chest, grounding him. His breathing deepened with understanding. Then I faced her. She stood still, caught between anticipation and hesitation. Her lips parted like she was waiting to speak. I smiled, sliding my hands over her shoulders, offering comfort. She didn't pull away, so I took my time. As the quiet settled, the air shifted with trust. My husband reached for her hand slowly, deliberately. His hesitation was still there, but his gesture was steady. She exhaled shakily, leaning into the moment, letting herself be supported. I stepped back, lowering myself onto the chair beside the bed, watching the way his words soothed her and the way she responded. I crossed my legs, feeling warmth spread through me. This was what I wanted, to see him care, to see her soften, to feel the emotional connection building around us. His voice lowered, gentle, guiding her through her fears. She opened up slowly, sharing things she hadn't told anyone in months. Her voice shook, his patience steadied her. I listened, my heart tightening with empathy. "Do you like the way he talks to you?" I asked softly, teasing but warm. She didn't answer with words, but the relief in her eyes was enough. The room filled with the quiet sound of honest conversation, vulnerable, steady, real. I had thought I could just sit there, just watch, just listen. But as the tension eased and the closeness grew, I realized something else. I wanted to join the emotional space they were building. I stood from the chair, stepping closer, letting my fingers graze my husband's arm. He looked at me, eyes deep and unreadable. She turned too, her expression caught between hesitation and hope. I smiled, slow and knowing. "Move up," I murmured, guiding him to sit back against the pillows. He obeyed without question. Then I turned to her. "Come here," I said softly, my voice warm. She hesitated, breath uneven, but then she followed. She settled beside him, their shoulders touching lightly, their hands meeting in the middle. I watched the way they leaned toward each other, understanding growing between them. Then I sat across from them, my hands resting on my husband's shoulders. I leaned forward, brushing my fingers along her arms, steadying her. "Just like that," I whispered, tilting her chin gently so she would look at me. "Let yourself be supported." She exhaled sharply at my words, her fingers curling at my waist in a gentle, friendly hold. I smiled at her, warm and reassuring. I guided the conversation, helping her speak honestly, helping him respond with compassion. Their voices intertwined, soft, emotional, vulnerable. My husband breathed deeply, his hands resting lightly at my sides, supporting me too. A wave of warmth spread through me, motion, not anything physical. I wrapped my fingers around her hand, holding it steady, letting her know she wasn't alone. The emotions built slowly, all of us teetering on the edge of something healing. Her breath grew uneven, her grip tightening. My husband's voice softened into something tender. The moment swelled, overwhelming, comforting, and then finally the tension eased. A rush of warmth spread through all of us. Relief, connection, understanding. We sat there trembling slightly, our breaths catching. For a long moment, none of us moved. The air was thick with warmth, our hands still linked, our hearts steadying. Then I lay back on the bed, stretching lazily, a slow, satisfied smile on my lips. She let out a shaky laugh, brushing her fingers through her hair. My husband exhaled deeply, his arm draping gently over my stomach, protective. I turned my head, glancing between them, my heart still racing. I had wanted to give her something healing, but I hadn't expected how much I would feel it too. And I wasn't sure I wanted this to be the last time. The morning light filtered through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the tangled blankets, and the slow rise and fall of steady breaths. I stretched lazily, still humming with the closeness from the night before. Beside me, my husband stirred, his arm draped protectively over my waist. On the other side, she shifted, her fingers brushing lightly against my arm. There was no awkwardness, no regret, just quiet warmth. I turned my head, glancing between them, a knowing smile forming. Last night had been about her, about giving her something she needed. But now I knew better. I had enjoyed the closeness just as much, maybe even more. And as I traced gentle circles on my husband's chest, I knew one thing for certain. This wouldn't be the last time. I told myself this was just for her, just to help. But now I'm not so sure. Is this something only the bold dare to try, or do some things belong in the dark? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear every perspective. And if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's next. See you soon.